This is May 14th, 2020. I'm Tony Delane. I was reading in the comments, someone asked, what is dating in Malawi like? Well, for men and women, it's great. The women, I'll speak from men looking for a woman. The women are very sweet, very hospitable. Most of them are in domesticated roles. I'm talking about primarily in the villages. In the city, many women are entering the workplace, entering leadership positions, sort of like the West. But in their thinking, they pretty much play a conservative role when it comes to a conservative role in the family when it comes to what am I trying to say? Tradition. It's mostly tradition that the women cooking, the cleaning, that sort of thing. Same way in the villages. A lot of women in the city are very educated, college degrees, etc. And that's happening in emerging markets in Africa as a whole. But as far as dating them, very nice women, very nice, very sweet. Now, I'm generally speaking, because you have your variances. You have your variances in the sense that everyone is different, everyone is an individual, everyone has their likes and dislikes, their quirkiness, their weirdness. But I'm just generally speaking based upon my experience in being in Malawi. A lot of the women are very nice, very sweet. But then you may have some that aren't so sweet. And that's in every culture, at least of all the places that I've been. You can always find a bad apple. But generally speaking, as the culture as a whole, the women of Malawi are very, very nice, very sweet, understanding, submissive. They're extremely submissive in the role that they play in the family, in the relationship to the male. As you can see in previous videos, that the women bow out of respect. It's not something that they're absolutely required to do. It is a cultural thing. Kids bow to their parents, women bow to men, and men serve their women and their families. So it's a cultural thing. It's a tradition and a culture. Yeah, so dating Malawi, as far as men looking for women, is great. It's pretty much the same thing for men. A lot of men are very gentle, very hospitable, but then you can find men that aren't so nice. This is generally speaking everywhere, but speaking specifically about Malawi, the men are cool. They're hardworking, willing to learn. A lot of them are not educated because men and women are not educated because going to college is very, very, very expensive for them. A lot of them have not been to school at all. So their skill level, as far as their skill level is not the greatest when it comes to, certain jobs. A lot of them are farmers, hunter-gatherers, basically, in the agricultural context. But in my opinion, just in my opinion, I would much rather find a mate in Malawi than I would. Well, let me put it this way. It's easier to find a mate that may suit you in a cultural context in Malawi than the West, because the West, the divorce rate has gone up 55%. And it's because of our culture has changed. A lot of things have changed. A lot of people are doing very well in the Western culture when it comes to marriage and having kids, etc. But man, it's a struggle. It's a struggle, especially when you're looking at all of the social engineering that has been going on against the family. That's a whole nother topic, but we can't deny that relationships are just crashing and burning big time at a 55-60% rate in the West. So when you go to a place like Malawi and other parts of Africa, or even the Philippines, in other parts of Asia even, or India, you don't have that strong Western tradition and context where people are treating each other like disposable pieces of property. And that's what happens even in teen relationships, boyfriend and girlfriend, even though a lot of them are young, etc., but they treat each other like they're disposable. So, but Malawi, the girls are beautiful, the men are beautiful, very handsome. You do have a lot of HIV there, so you got to take that in consideration. But people talk about that, but you can find people in the West that has all kind of diseases these days. So, you know, do your due diligence if you find a mate. But dating in Malawi is definitely, I give it a thumbs up, a big time thumbs up. When it comes to color of skin, nationality, and things like that and so forth. Racism in Malawi and bigotry and things like that in Malawi is nowhere near the levels that we find here in Western culture. The West is getting a lot better in some aspects, but Malawi is cool. So, yeah, very beautiful girls, very handsome guys, very moral and conservative. I would suggest you give it a go if you're considering going to Malawi and looking for a mate.